My name is Thomas Fury. I am the Jeremy House manager for the Downtown House, and I am the program manager for Recovery Point, and I work for Greater Impact.
I'm Emily Fury, and I'm the Lindsey House Southside House manager through Greater Impact.
So Emily and Thomas, thank you for being here today. We've heard a little bit about your individual journeys and how you came to Greater Impact and into your leadership roles. Guess tell me a little bit. I've known Emily for a couple of years now, and Thomas, I've known you in the past year. So I kind of have seen the transformation in your family, but when I met Emily, you were at the Lindsey House as a resident, and Thomas, you were still in prison, and I think I came about the time that God was really starting to work in your lives and you had come to Greater Impact. So maybe tell me a little bit about how you were feeling about your relationship when you came to Greater Impact, Emily, and then you, Thomas, and what your thoughts were at that time. Like, did you think you would make it?
Yeah, I knew when I came to Greater Impact that I finally was able to forgive Thomas for some of the past things that we'd been through. But I definitely was like scared because I didn't know how it was going to go when he got out of prison. But I was just like believing what God had kind of like put on my heart, that if we were married, that things would go a lot better for us.
To be honest with you, while I was in prison and we were rekindling our relationship, I just didn't want to reintroduce our relationship with lies, and so that was the first step for me. And then there was the idea that marriage for us was going to be our next step, and being able to really embrace that next step of our relationship was important too as well. So
What do you think the impact had for your marriage, you being in the Greater Impact sober living home at that time?
It definitely was helping me work on my anger and communication issues. And then also working on setting healthy boundaries and why they're important. It's like in every relationship that you have. And then just having like the support of Greater Impact employees that were able to help me navigate, just how to have a healthy relationship, and to also like learn who I am and what where I was going and what path I was on, and how our marriage like fit into that.
What impact did that have on you?
during the changes that she was making, to be honest with you, I was super stubborn. So it was changes that I was willing to embrace, but they weren't changes that I really liked. The boundary situation between me and her was really foundational, and they were hard for me to understand, because we had a past relationship, and in my mind it was like, well, where else are we gonna be? So, but I'm glad she did do that, because I didn't understand at the time how healthy that was, and I was still in a toxic state of mind. So she was able to be healthy for both of us at that time. So yeah.
So now, kind of coming full circle, where you've worked through a lot of that relationship trauma and gotten healthier, and you're both doing amazing on your recovery walk, what advice would you maybe give even to each other to continue to be on a successful path and to plug into Greater Impact?
I think my advice is just to allow the process to happen, and to be willing to take advice from other people and listen to how they were able to get recovery, because I think that's a lot of what Greater Impact is about too, is people that have been there and them sharing their experience, and then just trusting God most of all, and letting him do that work that maybe, like, I know for a long time I wasn't allowing, and that was why I continued over and over again to relapse and have bad relationships and things like that.
I think I would say let God in. Let Him be the foundation for our relationships, not just in marriage, but in all our relationships, but especially in marriage, because it's a beautiful thing. And you know, marriage is something that we vow to God to each other, and I think that's important. I think that sometimes gets overlooked. When I had the ability to actually let God in to our marriage, it gave me a lot of peace, because it's sacred. It's a sacred thing that I didn't understand how sacred it was, because, you know, worldly mind at the time, it was just like, okay, we're married. But then when I let God into our relationship, into our marriage, then I understood that we're married and I'm to love her like Christ loves his church. And there's a whole different meaning to that at the end of the day when you're able to embrace what that actually means.
I think you've kind of already touched on this, but if there's one thing that you could tell others out there that are in a marriage and struggling, and maybe both are struggling in sobriety, or one or the other, and they're just thinking there's no hope, what would you say? What do you have to say to them?
To stop thinking about yourself and what you want, and to be willing to also change and conform for that person just like you want them to do for you. And like the biggest thing that worked for me in our marriage when he was having struggles where he was still, you know, not sure about God and stuff, is just trusting that God is going to fix it. And also I think understanding like your role in the marriage through God and what he also expects of, like, for you personally when you're in a relationship and married to someone else.
I would just kind of touch on that too, your role. Understanding the roles and the differences in responsibility. It's a partnership. We're a team. And when we start to do things that are conflicting, then it starts from the top and goes down. It doesn't start from down and go up. So it always, if it's conflicting, if there's something that I'm doing that's out of pocket or something she's doing that's out of pocket, I think we're conflicting, and then it just snowball effects. So I would say, if I had to give anybody advice that's struggling with addiction or struggling with their relationship or their marriage, I would say that you got to be honest. Honesty, no matter what the situation is or what it's about, I would say that no matter how bad it hurts, you know, because sometimes the truth is not something people want to hear, but it's always going to end with that. It's never going to continuously be a thing when you have the truth, you know. Lies, they can continue, and then you got to continue and figure that out. But with the truth, it's just, that's the truth. And I think being honest and open and understanding what that really means is super important in that situation. So.